we move through the end of the month and we move into September, we really want to start talking about some planning on your part. And a couple of things that just sort of hit me this morning that I thought to myself, if I don't share this with them, like I really need to make sure that I am just pretty transparent with you about where you're at in your business right now, and what you're going to really need to focus on so that you can make your goals happen. So that's going to be kind of today's agenda. If you guys do have questions or things just on your mind that you want to discuss, will you do me a favor and either unmute now or drop it in the comments? So anybody have anything that you're like, I need to talk about this. Like, can you help me strategize? Anybody? Anything? Give me some thoughts. I only see Jessica Carey. I see nobody else. Nobody else wants to be on video this morning.
Are we just, sorry, I missed the very beginning. So are we just talking about like where we're at with like Elite and things we want to talk about as far as that goes?
Yeah. So what's anything on your mind that you're like, this is stressing that's going on?
The diamonds. That's it.
Okay. It's getting the diamonds.
And so, yeah. And like the closer I'm like, okay, shoot, another month went by and there's not another diamond, so just that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have people that are pushing, right?
Yeah. I have one that is already there and another one that's close, and I'm getting my mom. It's slowly, but then I'm just, I don't know, just the self-doubt that creeps in.
Yeah. Well, they're all working, so go ahead. She said.
The things that that just kind of scare me.
Yeah. It always takes twice as long as you think. Like you were like, oh yeah, I'll have my mom to diamond in a week. And it always takes like a month, and that's not you, but that's just normal, like even I'm a really high recruiter, but it still took me a long time to get my business center to diamond. I think it was like a good 6 or 7 weeks before, I had the actives, I didn't have the emeralds. And so it just takes a little bit, does take a little bit of time. So yeah. So you're there. It just is kind of getting it all to come to fruition and kind of putting that fire behind their behinds to get it done. And I was kind of thinking about that this morning, and I thought, okay, we're going into the fourth quarter of the year. We've got 4 months left. Our last possible day to get to 5-star is going to be, let me just count back. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's just make sure. November 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the 22nd of November will be your last possible day to start qualifying as 2 or 5-star if you're going to be Premier or Elite. So that November, so I always say like October 4th should be a day that you're like shooting for, because essentially you want to give yourself more time if possible. So just a couple of things, even everything at this point is sort of like, I have to maximize every opportunity. So for example, like the flash sale thing, even though I look at that and I say, I've already hit Success Club. I look at that and I say, but my coaches haven't hit Success Club yet. And that volume, every time I promote that, everything I post, like that could be volume in my PV bucket. That can be volume in my coaches for my downline. It could be keeping people active. It could be helping somebody else keep an emerald sort of going. So what I would say to you is if you didn't maximize the flash sale, yourself, like you haven't added anybody in there, you should do one Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or one day. So you have all the way until the 31st to make that happen so that it falls into this month. I would do it. So I don't know if anybody has not maximized that yet, but on Friday, it was Thursday, I was like, okay, I'm missing the boat. Everybody's talking about this flash sale. Yes, it's more work for me that I have to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. So some people did a 1 day, some people did 3 day. I decided to do 3 day because I wanted to torture myself for more than 1 day. I'm not sure why, but I just figured I could handle 3 days of kind of dripping it out. So that's another thing. So as I hear things like 3-day refresh, even just getting people to add that on, even you guys doing a 3-day refresh, talking about it. It's kind of like, what can I do to keep all my people active? What can I do to keep people engaged? And even with your current downline that you have, as you move into the holiday season, this is where you see a lot of instability sort of happening. This is where once you get to October and November, people just put their fitness on the back burner. So, even strategically saying, what is going to be my challenge group September, October, November, and December that are going to keep my active discount coaches, my people that are, and new people coming in. So like last year we did the elimination plan, and that worked really good. We're going to do it again this year, because that was great for us as a downline too, to use and focus on. I swear, every time I get on Zoom, my freaking phone rings. We don't even use the phone. I don't know why we can't get rid of it. And then I just hang up on them because they're usually telemarketers. All right. So anyways, so that is kind of something like you guys just have to say to yourselves is, I have to really kind of pull myself up and do everything I can to keep people active. Another thing too that I will say is, I'm going to share this, is that Diamond Daily. So I'm going to load all of the content. I pulled this out of the roundtable. That in the roundtable is when you get to 5-star diamond, all the leaders in the company are in there, and we share ideas. And so Trina Gray actually posted this. It's called Diamond Daily, and it's basically like a 30-day challenge where you get people that are almost diamond or are currently diamond and maybe need to kind of solidify a little bit or get into that mindset. And it's just like every single day they do this Diamond Daily sheet, and they have to post it in the group. And then every Wednesday morning we're going to do a mastermind where I just get on and they have to interact. I'm not going to come with the training, but I'm going to help them either get to diamond or stay at diamond. And I'm only doing it with my personally sponsored, because I didn't want it to become another group that there was over 200 people in there and half the people don't participate or they get overwhelmed. So this is something you could do with your people that are wanting to get to diamond. And maybe for you, because your organizations are smaller still, is you could reach down a couple of levels and do this. But it's very simple things. Like even for me, I'm like, oh, what are some of the things that I maybe am missing along the way that I don't do every day? So it's helping me to stay accountable too. So I just think like you could do this in a group message thread, but that would be a good way to kind of say to the people that are working towards diamond, all right, 30 days, let's get to diamond. Let's focus on Diamond Daily. Let's like run 4 sneak peeks this month. Let's do a business opportunity. Now the kids are back in school. Like, what can we do to kind of all hands on deck mastermind this together? And maybe you do add additional challenge groups, or maybe you add additional free groups, but as a team, as those of you that are working towards that 3-5-star, rank, you're all sharing the responsibility. So it's not just you running everything. It's everybody's kind of all hands on deck, and it's kind of working as a team together. So that's something, the Diamond Daily, that I'm doing. So I'm doing the Diamond Daily with a small group. I've got this flash sale Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I have a 3-day sneak peek going. So I've got a lot going on this week, but I know that it's the end of the month, and I have like the smallest number of coaches that have Success Club points out of the entire year. And so I am just like, bring on the crazy this week, because I just am like, I'm not going to just give up and say it's a bad month. Today, my afternoon is going to be sending voice messages to everybody that doesn't have Success Club yet, and being like, come on, you can do this. Like, let's get it together. What do we need? Let me help you. We're in this together. So that's where I'm at right now. It's just, I'll do whatever I have to do to help people. So that's kind of like where my mindset is going with the end of August. And I warned everybody, did I not? Like, tell everybody at the beginning. I was like, September or August is a shitty month. If you don't get your Success Club points out of the way by the 15th, like, you're going to struggle. And here we are. Nobody listens. So, just know that if you're seeing that on your end and you're feeling like nobody's engaged right now, you're not alone. I get that too, very much so. And you have to just look at the season. You will see a little influx in September as kids are going back to school right after Labor Day. So time your challenge groups for September along that pattern. I'm going to start my next group on the 10th. I'm advertising it all this week, all next week. I'm doing like a little 3-day refresh push for that September 10th group. And then I'll even start another one at the beginning of October, to kind of hit anybody that didn't get into that group. I'll have a sneak peek every single week. Those of you that are going on the Orlando retreat, make sure you're smart about your timing of running sneak peeks and business opportunity calls. If you're not going on a retreat, think about hosting one for your team. I just saw Kelly Guy did something, in just locally with her coaches. They went like canoeing for the day and they went to dinner. Like, think about what you can do to create community, create people getting together. I saw Nicole, you were doing yoga. Like, talk about the community and culture, things that you can do that can showcase what this tribe has really brought into your life. So a couple of things that I feel like at this point where you're at, you should be doing every single week. Number one, your challenge groups, that's your bread and butter. That should be something you can do with your eyes closed at this point, right? Expansion. Your goal is to become a master of Instagram and Instagram stories. So every single day, you should listen to one or read something that has to do with growing your Instagram account. So Jenna Kutcher podcast, awesome content, right? Google, if you don't know how to grow your Instagram influence, Google it. How do I grow my Instagram account authentically? How do I find relevant hashtags? Every single day, I am reading a resource. Every single day, I am posting about the business, right? Every single week or month, at least 2 to 3 times a month, I'm doing either a business opportunity call or a sneak peek. I'm constantly engaged in enrolling activity. I never think about just getting my Success Club points from my challengers. I always think about I can get Success Club points from coaches and challengers. So I need to talk about them both, but honestly, everything in elite has to do with recruiting people on your team and getting them to duplicate. So your focus is heavy on recruiting. And that comes from just being really good at getting out there and sharing your story. So, this is kind of the things, like, if you aren't recruiting 5, 6, 7 coaches a month, if you are at least getting 1 or 2 new coaches started every single month that are hitting Success Club, you're starting to like get behind this momentum wheel. So maybe this is the month where you got to kind of say to yourself, I need to get this moving a little bit faster. I'm not feeling confident in a certain skill. So when I don't feel confident, I do a ton of research. That is the way that I get ahead of it. So I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. I've been testing out ads on Instagram. I've been just trying to do more things with certain apps to help me plan my content a little bit better. I'm leaning into the trends, that it's becoming more of an influencer mindset. And what does an influencer look like? How do they post? What do they share? What do they tag? And that's been where I've been spending a lot of my time. And I've noticed a shift in my market because of that too. All right. So those are things that I think are really important, is that you, as the person trying to get to elite and premier, are recruiting heavy. And also I see so many people that put all of their eggs into if my coaches would just do it, I would be there. And it's like, you have to stop that mindset. Yes, if you have a person that has been telling you they're going to be diamond for 2 years now and they're not diamond, you really have to move on, right? You just have to move on. The tools are there. They'll get there when they're ready, but you have to make sure that recruiting is your focus. And that's not to be cold or not personal or to say that you don't care about people, because you're allowed to care about your people and you should, but it is also a business. So there's a relationship side where you put on your I'm your friend hat, and then there's the I'm your mentor hat. So you have to determine what hat are you putting on at what time. And it's okay to say to your coaches, hey, I'm your friend, but I'm going to put on my coach hat. I'm going to put on my tough love hat. And I'm going to tell you that what you're telling me your actions aren't matching that, right? And so it's okay to put that tough love hat on a little bit and say, love you as a person, but I'm going to mentor you as your sponsor right now too. Okay. So that is part of the leadership role. That's part of that communication and sharing that with your people. Okay. So those are just some things. This week, do what you need to do today to touch base with everybody. You have until Friday, right? So let's at least start saying, what do I need to do? Do I need to pull some like masterminds together? Do we need to get on a Zoom? Do we need to do a power hour every day? What do we need to do to just get to the 31st and hit our goals? So that's kind of first and foremost. After you get that under control, then you can plan out what September is going to look like. All right, you can plan out your groups and share that with your team, because the minute you start planning out September, everybody else's focus goes away from August, and they're like, okay, well, we'll just brush this one under the rug and pretend like it didn't happen, but that's going to kill you in the long run. Okay, every point counts. We have to wring everything out of the month that we can get. Is it a little bit stressful? Yes, but is it worth it? Absolutely. All right, think about all the ways you build character and leadership and grit when you're sort of in this like hustle mode the last week of the month. All right. Then you add back to school and wild and crazy kids, and it's just a barrel of fun. That's just what we do. Okay. So Jill, let me answer this question. May I ask a clarification? Okay. I need to rank advanced 6 weeks prior, but do I have all the way until December 31st for elite points? Yes, that is correct. So your points, you can accrue those all the way to the 31st. Your qualification for rank is the 22nd is your last possible day, 2 or 5 star. All right. So for those of you that aren't yet 2-star, that's your secret sauce. Get to 2-star, open your second business center, build that to diamond, then get a spouse to diamond, right? So, that's your 2 stars, your secret sauce right there. Okay, I set business call hours for every Tuesday afternoon. Perfect. I love it. I already have 2 coaches jump on to grow. Perfect. Also, guys, we do not have any guys on the team that are elite. I know you asked me that in a private message. We don't. But here's what I have to say to your husband is it wouldn't make any sense for him to talk to an elite guy coach, because he needs to do the basics first. So he needs to go into coach basics. He needs to run challenge groups. If you look at like Jamie Fitzpatrick, he's like, my whole team is women. He goes, it makes no sense for me to market to men. He goes, I run challenge groups just like everybody else. Like, him and Kim, they run their business together. They run challenge groups, they mentor, they lead, but their team is women. So he needs to master social media, attraction marketing, sharing his story, running challenge groups, and building to diamond. And then from there, then he'll be ready to sort of move through the phases of leadership, right? But it's the same way that you would build your business is the way you would teach him. His challenge groups may just look a little different, right? So that's kind of where I would say starting out that he needs to go. So, all right. What else? What else do you guys have? Questions so far? Or conversation? Honestly, anything that I can give clarity to? Don't be shy. You can unmute. Incentives are good.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
I'm always the chatty one.
That's okay. I appreciate it.
I'm like the 5,000 questions person and like over clarify, but it's just like I like to do things like the right way. I think that's my brain. So I just am starting this month now officially on the schedule of like doing a free group on the first Monday and then my paid group on the third Monday. I worked my way into that over August because I used to do it totally different. Okay. And so in order to increase volume, like I'm recruiting like a crazy person right now to load in my free group. Do you think that I should like put in an option for something like a 3-day refresh as like as a free group, completely optional, but like, just to maybe a potential increase in volume? Like I'm just trying to, as you were talking about the 3-day refresh, I was thinking about, should I advertise that in a free group, even though it's free?
Yep. I mean, I use my free group as my place. I talk about everything I'm doing. So like when I did a 3-day refresh, every day I went in and did a progress update on my 3-day refresh. I was like, just drop the link to buy it right in there too, because they're already in my free group. They already have a free account with me. If they want to do it, here's the link. I don't have to be all secretive. So yeah, I mean, totally. Every time I advertise for a challenge group or a sneak peek, I drop the link in there. So my free group is my place where, yes, I run a 1 week out of the month something, but then that's where I update throughout the month on other things that are going on, and like yesterday I found an article about meal planning. I was like, cool, I'll pop that in my free group just as a resource so that they see me sort of coming in and giving them content. So I do. Yes. Yes. Tips on coach onboarding and working on creating my own training. Oh, good, Robin. I'm glad that was helpful. Good. That makes me happy. Yes. I hope everybody kind of took that from the Rising Stars last week and has started to kind of work through that either with their downline or on their own, for sure. So any other questions? I mean, I will say, and I think I said this maybe on here or I said it on the Rising Stars, those 15-minute power calls with your working coaches or even your ones that are working towards Diamond, like just set up a standing call, from now on with those people and, lean on your downline. A lot of times we want to work with our success partners, right? So we want to say like, for example, like Jess and me and Katie Bryan and, we're going to all run a sneak peek, but it's kind of like, sure, we're powerhouse people and we could do that. But I should ask my people that want to be Diamond if they will get on and tell their story. I should ask my new coach that just lost 5 pounds to be the success story in my sneak peek. I should, ask my coach that's almost Diamond to guest speak on our call, the Coach University call for the next week. We should, share some of those resources. That empowers them to kind of take that leadership role and it gets them to invite people to the group also. If you're going to do, this sale, end of summer flash sale that we've kind of been doing, team up with your people instead of trying to team up with other people across the network that are already established. So that's just another piece of advice. It's like, how do I go down through, dig down, and sort of reach up and start to empower some of these people to take a leadership role? So, all right. Anything else? Go ahead, Jill. You're good.
How do you load people into your free group? Do you do an event? Like I know Katie Erster runs an event page and then like advertises the event by boosting the event and then puts them into the group. Like, or do you just like, we don't share the event link or what do you?
I don't even do an event anymore. So I don't do any of that. I just do on my Instagram, on my link tree, you can put, if you're going to do like a free group, it can be in your link tree. You can change your link to say, this is my free group for the week. Then screenshot that, put that in your stories, talk about it on your stories. You can talk about it on your Facebook page, but once people request to join the Facebook group, it says name, email address, do you have a coach or are you working with a coach at this time? And then once they give me their email, I will send them the link to sign up for a free account, or, on your link tree, if you don't want them just to request the Facebook group, they could fill out an application, a form that then, you're going to add them into the free group. But everybody that goes into the free group has to make a free account first. So that weeds out the people that aren't really serious, that just click join. And so that helps, that cuts down on the kind of the riffraff of the two. Yeah. Yep. But I don't place a lot of emphasis on my free groups, especially, they're great. They're an awesome funnel, but it's like, it's like 1 week and done or 3 days and done. So, and I don't ever put all my eggs in that basket that those are going to be my customers. That's just sort of a funnel that I know that, I'll turn a couple of people into challengers from that group. So yeah, so I don't place it. Yeah. I don't place a ton of emphasis on it, to be honest with you. So especially if you're busy and don't have a lot of time. All right. Anything else? I did not want to just inundate you with training. I just really wanted it to be action focused and based, that we are like touching base with people, crushing out the end of the month. It might be a little bit crazy. I kind of already told Matt, like, you may not see me a lot. So this is how this week is going to be. and I'm loading up today because tomorrow's my kids' last day before school starts on Wednesday. So I am going to take some time for them in the afternoon, but I'm going to work a lot today and then Wednesday when they go to school and then Thursday and Friday. So I looked at my week and I made a game plan. So I knew what my objectives and my goals were. And then this weekend is Labor Day weekend. So is it this weekend? Is that this weekend? Yeah. So I'm going to load up some just recipes and tips and things that can go out and be scheduled on my page, and I'll do my power hours over the weekend. But then this weekend will kind of be my okay, let's chill and relax and do some family stuff. So crush it to the 31st, then we breathe. That's the way we're going to look at it. All right. So just kind of think about it that way. All right. I don't have anything else. I wanted to keep it short and sweet today. Anything you guys can think of?
Just something small. I'm feeling like burnout already. So
Yeah.
what do you, like Luke, my husband, even said, you haven't been posting a lot. I'm like, I feel like I don't have anything. Like my brain is dead. I just feel like I don't have any value to give. And so what do you do to lean in to find something when you feel like you've got nothing? I don't know.
So I do get like that. Like once a week, I kind of hit that burnout point, because I work really hard for 3 or 4 days at a time. And then I go, I'm done. So a lot of times for me, it is, I go to a book on my shelf and sometimes I'll just go, what author do I need? And I'll just flip through until I find a chapter. And then usually I can pull a quote from that chapter and that could be my post, right? So that sometimes is where my posts come from. Actually, a lot of times, sometimes I'll just turn on Gary Vee because he really motivates me, or somebody that motivates me. I'll find a YouTube video. So that will get me out of whatever funk usually that I'm in. Whatever day I decide to really get dressed and do my hair and makeup, I've started to take a bunch of pictures in a row. So I the other day did 4 outfit changes in a row, and I've been hanging things in my closet, and then I just have my tripod and my little timer, and I've been walking around the house when the sun is shining, and I'll take 3 or 4 photos and then I'll edit them in my downtime, and then I just save them to the favorites on my camera roll. And then on a day where you're I have nothing left, I'll pull my personal development out, I'll find a quote, and then I'll throw something together with one of those photos and done. So that has definitely been helping me to kind of push through. I'm trying to, when I feel creative, make extra posts and save them. So I've been using that app called Plan. It's called PLANN, and that's been really helping me too. So those are some things. I'll be honest with you, I get that burnout too. It happens to me at least once a week. I started reading a trashy novel. So I last night sat on the couch and read a book. And I was like, oh, that was so much fun. I totally enjoyed that. And then I woke up this morning and I felt 1,000 times better, right? So I just work in downtime for myself too.
Hey, Melanie.
Yes.
This is Robin. I wanted to share too another tool that I've been using that's helping me. It's called Later. Later.com. I heard Lewis Howes talk about it. And it's pretty cool because I do the same thing like you. I took your lead and I take pictures when I think of them, but I can save them from my phone and just put them right up into my media storage in the Later app. And they have a visual calendar where you can drag and drop and move your posts around. But you can also repost. So if you keyword them, you can search through old posts and you can use them again. So anyway, I've been using it, and they called me to get feedback, and they gave me a $20 Amazon gift card, and they're going to let me in on their beta, which is going to allow you to plan your Instagram stories. Cool. Which is really cool. And it will auto post. So, I mean, literally, if you have a business Instagram account, it will post for you. You don't have to copy and paste. Gotcha. So that's really helped me a lot. And it's free to do the automatic post. You just need a business account. So I found that to be really helpful.
Okay. Yeah, that is good to know. Yeah, I use that Plan, PLANN, and that sort of is somewhat the same in the sense that I can load my stuff in there. I actually have hashtags loaded in there. I can do my stories too. So yeah, kind of the same thought as what you're using too, just maybe a different app. So yeah, perfect. Yeah, so find something. Yeah, podcasts sometimes are different. Yeah, so just finding what works best for you, but also know that like you're normal if you feel that burnout, and it is just something you have to be very mindful of when you're running a team and you're trying to motivate other people. You know, you give a lot to other people. You give. And as a leader, there is nothing a lot of times back on you. So you do have to say to yourself, like, what is going to be my recharge? As we move into the cooler months, those of us that don't have another job outside of the house, we can be in this house for 5 days straight. So what are you going to do? Go take a yoga class, go take a spin class, go, like plan a lunch date with your friends once a week. Like, you don't need to stay in your house and work 24/7. Like, make sure you have an outlet for you, or you will go down that rabbit hole. Cause I know I do it. And when it gets cold, I don't want to leave my house either. So those are just some tips. Get to events, anything that you can do where you can just be surrounded by other people. Really does help too. So yeah, I always find, and then think about this. Can you plan a getaway in November or December? That is the quietest times in the business, November and December. And so lean into that. Don't plan anything between Christmas and New Year's, because that's chaos. No matter how much you say you're going to take that week off, for our business and our industry, that doesn't happen, right? We just don't. But we can take it over Thanksgiving and Christmas and we're good. January is always a shit show for us too. It's always super busy. So like, don't get freaked out by the fact that it gets a little quiet in the fall. Lean into that and say, I'm going to take a weekend getaway. I'm going to do something with my kids or my husband, And so I've learned to just know the trends and not get upset by it. But that's also why I'm saying to you guys, rock your goals as soon as possible, so you don't have to stress about this over the holiday season. All right. So maybe you plan something. I did that pajama party in November last year for any of my PS that wanted to come in that were diamonds, and we had so much fun. Like, I'm going to totally do that again. Do something like that for your downline, make it something fun that you guys can do together around that time of the year. Make that your incentive to get to diamonds. So anyways, just a couple of random thoughts for you. All right. I will see you guys later. We will not have a call next Monday because it is Labor Day. So just know that there will not be a call. There also will not be a team call on Monday night because it's Labor Day. So we get a week off, but know that we'll be getting our elite reports and all of that together. So once we get through this weekend, then make sure you've got September sort of planned out and locked down. And then let me know if you've got any questions. And I'll pop in here and kind of I'll share my plan for September with you guys, even though we won't have a live call. I'll just post it in here anyways. Okay. All right, guys. I'll share the Diamond Daily thing too, since I said I would do that. So, all right, go have a good week. I will talk to you later. Love you guys. Bye.